welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Talk. So today I've got someone that I can just describe as a certified bagsman, goal machine, absolute, and the numbers still don't make sense in my head. What you've done this year, honestly, I tried to do the maths about it and I said, what? I said, hold on. The maths ain't making sense. I've got my boy Jorome and Mayo. What's good? How you saying?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. Just keep myself occupied right now.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So I've had a few conversations with a few people, a lot of different pros, a few coaches. And the first thing I've really wanted to get into understanding is, with everything going on at the moment, kind of the routine being different, how's your diet at the moment? How are you managing to keep your diet?
Diet is fine, you know. I've always been a person that likes to keep fit and healthy as well. I don't really like to eat the junk food. So yeah, my diet's just the same really. You have to kind of
no temptation about a little cake here and there or anything, no?
Man, I don't do cake. Obviously the diet, yeah, you have to try and vary it around. Obviously the days are a bit different, but yeah, you know, just doing what I can. You know, just got to stay in shape as well.
No, I hear that. So yeah, how are things for you? Because I mean, in terms of yourself personally, you've had a great year.
Yeah, something like that.
You've had, I mean, you guys, 14 points clear at the top?
Yeah, I think, what was it, 14, 15 points clear? A couple of games in hand, maybe.
Literally a crazy streak. You had an amazing moment as a team for beating Orient in the FA Cup. You scored probably one of the goals of the season in that.
Yeah.
By the way, it was a bad boy goal.
Thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
And then now we're in a situation where there's no football. So yeah, how are you at the moment? How are you coping with things?
I think when this all first started, you know, I was a bit just kind of took it a bit easy, you know, just thought it might blow over. But then after a bit, as it continued to go on and on, I had to kind of get myself in a routine. So like right now, I'm good. I get up early in the morning, I do a workout in the morning, workout in the afternoon, bit of reading, bit of language, like Spanish. But, you know, you just got to keep yourself occupied. So, you know, I'm good now. You know, you just got to keep yourself occupied and you'll be all right. And
how about all of the boys? I mean, ultimately, Malden is it's a really good setup on what the guys are doing. People like yourself and other people in the team, I mean, you really wanted this promotion. Pretty much promotion was pretty much settled. And now we're in a situation where we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, from what I understand, the league has just been broken. But we don't know if you guys are coming back and whatnot. What effect has that had on the boys at the moment?
So if you're not aware, I think actually our season was just terminated.
It's done.
Yeah, so of course myself and the rest of the boys are just completely devastated. You know, there's some great players in our team, and I think everyone deserved the promotion. You know, we've worked so hard, and to have it taken away, obviously,
there was no way you guys weren't getting promoted. I mean, with that far ahead.
Obviously, to have it taken away something that we can't control. It's nuts, and I know a lot of the boys are affected by it. You know, we had one person who was wanting to get the promotion and then retire, but now he can't get it, so he's thinking he might have to do another season. So I feel for him.
Yeah.
I feel for a lot of the boys that are struggling during the lockdown in general. You know, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing.
And I mean, that brings around a weird situation because, I mean, like we've mentioned, your season was pretty much done because of that. But we're not in holiday mode, we're not in pre-season mode, we're still grafting, like we've mentioned. How is that feeling? Because it's like, what are you grafting towards almost?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think off-season mode's gone. I think right now everyone's in pre-season mode because you'd be silly not to run.
Yeah.
But you know you have to, because like I said, you don't know when you're going to go back. You know, the government could say everything's fine by next week. You never know. So I think everyone's just obviously trying to keep in shape. So that's the mentality you have to have, just be ready.
And personally for you, how are you at the moment? Because there's an elephant in the room, of course. After your display this season, your display in the FA Cup, you had a lot of eyes on you. and
Yeah.
a lot of people touting and kind of floating around, you're not going to get to finish that form that you're in. What sort of does that put you in now? Is there a lot of people that were kind of having conversations, or are you just trying to figure out how you can get back to football ASAP?
Yeah, so me personally, I knew there was people looking and people talking, but I just obviously want to concentrate on finishing the season, just scoring all my goals. I think now, because of the situation we're in, I think the main purpose is just figuring out when I'm going to get back playing again. And then just take it from there, you don't want to get too distracted by the hearsay, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. Just get back playing wherever that may be, and then just take things from there. Just take it step by step.
How do you? Because you always come across as someone that manages to kind of stay in the zone and keep focused, and that's kind of been seen in your form this season. Like when you were scoring goals, is that there was nothing stopping you. How do you kind of tap into that mode? Because if you, especially for a striker, and especially within sort of those levels, you get some strikers that they can do it, but it won't be for the whole season. How do you manage to really just for the whole season just be so aggressive? And
I think the team that I'm with, our team's very competitive in games and in training, and our aim was get promotion. So I knew as a striker, as long as my other strike partners need to be scoring the goals.
Yeah.
But as well as that, there's other places I want to get to in my life, and you've got to stay focused. If you do well for half the season and get distracted, lose focus, then you're not doing as well. You're not going to get there. So that was my mentality. I'm scoring goals, which is great. People know who I am, but if I stop scoring it now, it don't look as good. So it's got to keep going.
And you mentioned you've got places that you want to go to in your career. Obviously, you've got your older brother, but you've come from the illustrious academy, which is Sheffield United's academy, right?
Yeah.
And for you, how was that transition or that sort of journey been? Because obviously you were in academy, you're playing where you are at the moment, but everyone from even when you're in the academy has looked at you and said, this guy has the potential to really fly. How has that journey been? Because a lot of people can't do it. A lot of people say that, I'm not going to go and play in these different leagues. A lot of people try to, and even with all of the talent, don't perform as you expect them to.
Yeah.
But you've managed to do both, which is credit to you. How has that journey been?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, it's not been easy. When you're coming out of at the time when I was at Sheffield United, we was only in League One, but it was a good academy. We had great facilities. We would get a lot of things given to us. So, and that, as an 18-year-old, to come out of that environment and then go into non-league men's football, going to stadiums that have got one stand, windy, and you're playing on a bombshell. It's not easy, and you have to mentally adapt to that as well as physically. You have to adapt, and you learn your ways and you understand the ways to play in non-league. For me, I came out of Sheffield United, had a very bad injury, so it took me a while to get through the injury and just kind of find my way again. And what helped was having the right support network. So of course, I've got my family. I've got my own ambitions and my own motivation, and my agent as well. He's very supportive, and you kind of put your belief and your trust in other people as well, and they'll help you get through it.
What's the hardest bit of transitioning into that football? So a lot of people talk about the physicality. A lot of people talk about how the football is different, but then again, the flip side to that is there's a lot of people that were in similar situations to you that are playing at that level now. So the quality is it's that sort of discussion is different now because there's a lot of talented footballers playing at that level. What's the hardest part about transitioning over?
I think the hardest part is probably the competitiveness, in my opinion. As an 18-year-old, our training was competitive, but then you take that into a men's environment, it's completely different because, you've got guys playing for the families, you've got playing for promotion. It's a completely different setup. So yeah, I think in terms of that, you're coming out from boys football to men's football. And it is you might be technically better than a lot of these guys, but up here, And in terms of football knowledge, you know, how they play, it's completely different. We've got a visitor. But yeah, it's not an easy transition, but it's a good one. It's good if you have to do it. I'd advise anyone to do it because it's a good learning curve.
I was going to say, would you advise more younger professionals to do it, to go into London?
If you have to do it, then you have to do it. And football's one of those games where you do what you have to do to make it to where you want to be. If you're not in the position where you've had to go on loan to a team where you've been released, then you know what, fantastic. But if you have to do it, it's always a good learning curve any day, whether you like it or not. Any experience is good experience.
No, for real. What's it like having, you mentioned you got a support system. What's it like having siblings within the professional game?
Great. Like I said, it's experience. They've been through it. They've been in places I want to get to. They're at places that I want to be. And
I mean, you made a Premier League appearance, right?
Yeah, he did. He's here now, actually.
Oh, I swear. Tell him I said cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good, you know. I've got my brother, I've got my cousin, and like I said, they've been places I want to get to. They know things that I don't. So it's always good to listen to them and just learn from them.
Because, I mean, one example that stands out for me, I know I mentioned Sheffield. You've got David Brooks, who's at Bournemouth now, obviously.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, he kind of took that similar step, didn't he? He was at Halifax for a bit, right?
Yeah, he went on loan.
Ends up at Premier League, and he looks comfortable there. Given the kind of trajectory you're on and the performances you've put in, and just kind of you knowing yourself, do you reckon that climbing up the leagues in the next few seasons is where you want to be for sure?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, you have to back yourself. You have to believe in yourself. So I believe I have what it takes physically, technically, and up here to get to the top level. And you just have to believe in yourself. So if you have to take the steps, going through non-league and just climbing, then you do that. And eventually you get to where you want to be.
Because, I mean, I'm still kind of in awe that I'm trying to understand the mindset behind it, because your season is they're not going to reverse that.
What was that, sorry?
Your season is done. They're not going to reverse that decision. But
it's finished.
You're still like grafting. I mean, because usually you'd get a holiday, wouldn't you? And then you'd do pre-season.
I'd been on a plane by now.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the sort of mental behind that? I mean, are you going to keep going throughout the whole of the pre-season? Is there a risk that you could burn out? Or
I couldn't tell you. I think obviously you have to manage yourself. You don't want to do too much too soon. But you have to kind of, end of the day, you know your own body. So you just have to manage yourself. So I know what I'm doing now will just keep ticking over. But you have to balance yourself. If you do too much, you're gonna burn out, and then you don't know. And the worst thing is, we don't know when we're starting. Could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months. So it's a difficult situation for everyone. You know, no one knows.
You mentioned previously London goals, and I mean that goal for me. It's the reason why I liked it so much is because it just epitomised everything about you in terms of someone that has to go, so you have so much ability on the ball as well. And the FA Cup is, especially for teams like Mayowa, it's such a really important thing in terms of revenue, in terms of the dates, in terms of the publicity.
Yeah, of course.
For players at that level, playing the FA Cup, what does that mean?
Well, as a player, you know, FA Cup is always, you've got the big clubs playing against the little clubs. So for us, obviously, as a tier 8 team in non-league, and our side was very young, you know, a few senior players, but it was a very young side. You know, we had a 17-year-old playing. And for us, it's great exposure at the end of the day, isn't it? You've got a 17-year-old playing left back, you've got 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds getting exposure playing against League 2 clubs. That's an asset. You're putting yourself on the market. You know, you're playing against senior players that have been there, done that. and to the fact that we won as well, you know, it's saying, oh look, this team can do this. This team are here. You know, this is Malden. They beat Leighton Orient. Let's watch them again. Let's watch them next week. Let's watch them the week after. So it just for me, it put me on the market. You know, people go, oh wow, look at the goal he scored. But so now they're looking at the goal I scored before that and the goal I'm scoring after that.
Is that in your head going into the game though? Do you, like, in those sort of big games, do you think, you know what, if I get it right here, they're going to be sniffing?
Yeah, in the back of your head, yeah, you're thinking that, but you don't think too much about it because then you're not gonna play as well. If you think too much, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I need to score, you're gonna lose yourself in the game. I think our aim was obviously stay in the game, but we knew what we were good at, and from the offset, our plan was do what we do, we'll score goals, and of course we did, and it was a great day.
Because another thing that I mentioned it before, because you mentioned that you're not just training, you're reading, you're doing stuff. How important is kind of, especially in the situation like now, mental strength? Because even if you look at your brother's situation in terms of to kind of go on that journey and then say, you know what, okay, let's do it, let's get it, to get back into league football, for all of you, how important is mental strength and resilience? Because both of your stories are pretty touching, the way you've managed to kind of keep going, and now you're in really good places.
Well, I think in coming out of a football perspective, I think a lot of people maybe outside the football world don't really see the mental side to football, and they think, okay, they get paid a lot of money. It's not always like that, and unfortunately, a lot of footballers do struggle mentally because it's not easy. And to say, if you really want to make it, if you really want to continue doing what you're doing, you do need mental strength. You know, you need to have that motivation. Say, look, I need to get out today. I need to get that training session done. I need to get that running done. And it's not always an easy thing. You know, it's especially in this situation. You might wake up and think, I don't want to do it. But in your head, you have to say, you know what, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. So it's not easy, but it's just one of those things that you have to do.
No, that's because you speak to through like academy players or players that are coming through, and you start to hear things and you realize, okay, a lot of players that make it to the top, you have to credit them, because it's not just the ability. There's this trait that you need to be that hungry to make it. I mean,
of course,
people that right now, young players that might not have a back garden, so they're having to go to the park to train and they're having to recreate things, and I think a lot of people give footballers enough credit for the mental aspect to become a top athlete.
Yeah, of course. Well, I haven't made it to the top yet, but I know if you want to get there, you have to have that winning mentality. You have to have the winning mentality. If you don't have it, you're not going to make it. And I think that's just in every other career as well. If you want to win, you want to be the best, you'll be the best, and you'll be around the best as well.
And at Malden, I mean, one of the things that stands out as well, especially relating to you, is even though you're quite young, as you mentioned the team, you do stand out as one of kind of the senior heads in the team. There's so many young boys.
Yeah.
What is that a weird experience for you, especially kind of coming through the journey you've been on? Now you're kind of one of the guys where like, people look to you, but not only because you're a leader in terms of scoring goals, but you're slightly older, you've had a few more experiences as well. How does that feel?
To be honest, it just feels normal, you know. If anything, it's a good thing to have. It's good to know that you've got other boys looking to you for advice, maybe, or they're looking to you like, oh, Jorome might get us out of this situation, or someone else might get us out of this situation. Just in my opinion, I think you have to have that. I feel like I have that ability to push other people as well. So I'll always work my hardest, and it's nice to know I know the team more than other people behind me will work their hardest for me, and I'll work my hardest for them as well. So it's like a chain reaction as well.
I hear that, man. But like I said, bro, all the best for everything, man. No matter what happens in this, I'm sure you're going to be good.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Whatever happens. I've got a cheeky one, though.
Sure.
In the game of end-to-end, who's winning? You or your bro?
End-to-end?
Yeah, who's winning? You or your bro?
This is an argument we've been having for many years. Many years, and we haven't settled it yet. Okay, let me be honest about this. He's quick. I'll give him that. Oh, on a good day,
Yeah.
I'm taking the title.
Swear.
But maybe on the off, he might take it.
Was it when you was coming through so I know there's an age gap between you, but was there ever times where people kind of comparing you to?
Actually, no. To be honest, I think because we were at the academy together for years, obviously different age groups. But when he was playing, I'd be playing.
Yeah.
I think the coaches always knew me and Jordan were a lot different players, different structures, different playing styles. But end of the day, you've got an older brother who did very well. You still look up to them anyway.
Yeah. That's dope, man. But keep training hard. I'm sure whatever happens in this, man, you're going to be all right.
Oh.
And I'm sure next season you're probably going to score more than the 32 goals you got this year? 32?
33. Well,
33.
Who's counting?
Oh, sorry.
Who's counting?
What, 33? What, 46 appearances?
33. No. 33 and 33. I think it was.
33 and 33.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
That doesn't even make sense, man. That's crazy.
It had to be done. It had to be done.
Nah, hey, I respect it. It's still a certified drilling. But bro, listen, all the best of everything, man. I'm sure we'll catch up once all of this is done, man.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Appreciate it.
That's another episode of Quarantine Talks, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Undiluted Media, man.